Hello, my name is Luke Sutton. Welcome again back to the Alan Wake walkthrough. This is on Nightmare mode and we're doing it as a pacifist. We're not going to shoot anyone or kill anyone. We're going to try to, and not to anyway. So basically, oh there we go, Stucky's countryside. Not so we've got a gas station nearby. We keep having car accidents. This is our second already. We've probably ran over someone and we've crashed this car as well, so we're in a lot of trouble. Last thing we remember, we were staying at a lodge and our wife has a fear of the darkness. The lights went out and for one reason or another she goes out of the back door and must have hit her head somehow, and we notice that she's unconscious, drowning in Cauldron Lake. So we jump in to save her. We're shown a quick couple flashes of Barbara Jagger and a typewriter, and we wake up suddenly here in another car accident. So there's a lot of things not making a lot of sense at the moment. Now, if you remember in the last episode, I said take notice of the desk, it's blank, and then eventually we get called up by our wife, and there's a typewriter in there. Now, there's only one way she could actually really put that typewriter in there. One, it doesn't fit in her purse. Number two, it couldn't have been pre-arranged there, as it wasn't the cabin we were supposed to be staying in. So when we were looking around the small island of Cauldron Lake, our wife must have come back to the car, picked up the typewriter, brought it down, put it on the desk, took her pants off, and then called us up. Now, what's interesting about that is no one took the cases out of the car. The cases were still in the back of our car. Now, this is very interesting when you consider what's at the end of this episode 1. Unfortunately, we won't get there in this recording, but at the very next one we will. So just remember, our cases are still in the back of the car. The other thing we know is that our marriage is in a bit of a jeopardy. We've had a 2 years writer's block, largely because we can't handle the limelight that goes with being a famous writer. And basically our wife was trying to do a good thing. We're a bit of a jerk. We didn't accept that at first, and then we stormed out on it. But our wife was trying to do a good thing and get us some clinical help and to try and get those creative juices flowing again. Now she was trying to get Dr. Hartman. So I'm just going to examine this.
Among Alice's things was a book, The Creator's Dilemma, by a Dr. Emil Hartman. Seeing the book brought back my fight with Alice. I didn't like it, and I didn't like the guy's smug face on the cover either.
And look at those pearly whites, they're like a great white shark. Okay, so we've fallen down there.
Designing the environments, we are making full use of the diversity of nature in Pacific Northwest region. In this episode, we find Alan Wake crashed in a car, unable to climb back to the road, and facing a long hike through the forest to reach a distant gas station where he hopes to find help. The area is a rocky, forested valley. He has to go through a logging site and also a marshland that follows the bottom of the valley and a river crossing. In the end, there is a vintage old gas station to explore, so really it's a visually very interesting location.
Actually, this is how much detail there is to the game. So there was a car that drove past, but when it took the flash over, there was a page laying on the floor over there, and the page is actually over there. So yeah, it's incredible. Okay.
Damn.
That's not good. Oh, there's a car. Is it? Yep. Hopefully our insurance takes into account we're completely mad. Alright, so we're going to continue on. We're actually going away from the gas station to try and get down from this mountain. Following the path. We're going to get into a little bit of a speed here.
Hello?
Oh, we got T. We got the big T, you know, and Tom the diver. He's about to give us something.
Hello? Someone there? The loose sheets of paper were pages from a manuscript entitled Departure. That was the name I planned to use for the next novel I had never gotten started. I was named the author. I hadn't written it. I couldn't remember writing it. In the scene on the page, the hero was attacked by an axe murderer in the woods at night.
So Tom the diver is giving us pages that we've written and we don't remember writing them. Now to access them you just press F5 and you can
Departure by Alan Wake.
An audio example of the things you've written. So this is the next page.
The man turned to face me. His face was covered in shadows. It was hard to make him out in the darkness of the forest that surrounded us, but the axe he lifted was plain to see. It glistened with the blood of his victim. He grinned madly. The shadows were alive, distorting his features. It was a scene from a nightmare, but I was awake.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is just run forward a little bit, let the developers explain it, and then I'll talk after it.
Well, as you can see, Wake has just found his first manuscript pages. They just sort of floated down from an unearthly light. And the manuscript is really one of our main storytelling tools in the whole thing, and one of our most important concepts in the entire game. And that stuff was actually really difficult to write because, you know, you don't have a lot of space there. You have a couple of paragraphs, and you kind of need to be able to tell a little story there.
Yeah, and I also think that manuscript pages are a big part of the whole Alan Wake experience. While it also tells a lot about the world itself, it also gives you a really deep history of different characters in the game.
Yeah, and it feels kind of natural too because, you know, we sort of made the pages a part of the whole thing. They're not just sort of, you know, random things in the, you know, sort of, you know, on the sideline, but they're actually something that's really a part of the plot because they really are the plot.
Exactly. And I especially like the idea how certain pages actually predict some events that are going to occur in the future.
Yeah, we do a lot of foreshadowing there, but it's not, you know, we don't really do the kind of a thing where we sort of, you know, hint at something. We actually come right out and flat out, you know, say it, because that's sort of, we want to prove the player that, you know, what's written on the pages actually literally happens in the game.
Yeah, it's really cool when that happens. If somebody actually reads the page and sees how the stuff unfolds in front of him while he plays it, I think that would be really cool for somebody. And it's so bad that I've actually read all the pages, I don't get that experience, but I would think that it's really cool when you actually experience it.
Yeah, and I know a lot of players are probably just going to run through and just sort of skip the pages, and, you know, that's fine, you can do that, you can play, you know, a cool action game like that, but there's actually a lot more to the game than just the shooting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, there definitely is, because we're not shooting. Okay, so basically, as he said, the pages kind of tell you a bit about what's about to take place. So we're going to read each page before it happens, because technically, if you know what's about to happen, you can change it, can't you? Okay, so let's go.
The lights up ahead were a good sign. Maybe I wouldn't have to hike all the way down to the gas station to find a phone.
Okay, so we're going to go through a logging site now. Just going to run and pick up this page. And 5.
The Taken stood before me. It was impossible to focus on it, as if it stood in a blind spot caused by a brain tumor and eye disease. It was bleeding shadows like ink underwater, like a cloud of blood from a shark bite. I was terrified. I squeezed the flashlight like my life depended on it, willing it to stop coming any closer. Suddenly something gave, and the light seemed to shine brighter.
Okay, so basically we're about to meet a Taken, and evidently we need to get a flashlight, and the flashlight will help us handle the Taken. So let's walk over. Oh, some noise over
Anybody there?
I'm sure it's safe.
Please! I've been in an accident!
Hey! Hey, you!
Phil!
There's been an accident! I need help!
Listen, I need to...
Premium cabins for rent in...
Oh, hell.
Carl Stucky. Pleased to meet you. Non-refundable reservation deposit required. Fair and square.
I'm a pacifist. Hello. I'm gonna leave you alone. Please leave me alone. Are you alright, buddy? Are you alright? No, you're not. Okay. I didn't see anything. Alright. So basically that was Cole Stucky. If you remember in the cafe, he was the one that we were supposed to grab the keys to our cabin off. Now evidently he met up with Barbara Jagger before meeting us, and Barbara Jagger did something to him. And now we see the long-term effects of what Barbara Jagger can do to someone. Okay. Oh, we've got another page here.
For a long time, the dark presence had been weak, sleeping. Nothing but a half-forgotten nightmare or a shadowy flicker in the corner of an eye in the forest at night. Not real enough to properly exist, and yet too evocative to fade away completely. Now it was waking up. The rider like a fly caught in a spider's web, each jerk and kick vibrating the strands that led deep into its lair. It was aware of him now, and it could use him. All he'd need was a little incentive.
Okay, now this is actually very interesting. So, we know about Barbara Jagger, but here it refers to the dark presence. Okay, so we're going to find out a bit later on what that dark presence actually is. And that it was dormant, it was sleeping, it's been woken up for some reason. And it's trying to catch people into its little web. And the only way it can do that is by giving them a little bit of an incentive. Now, it's talking about us here, in the fact that it's brought us into its web by adding a little incentive. Now, do you think that little incentive might have been Alan Wake's wife, Alice? Okay. So, let's keep going. Bit of a jump scare there. I think that paper you can only find in the Nightmare difficulty shop, so just to prove I am playing Nightmare.
In Great Falls, you want for me to arrive. You lose. Shit.
Oh, gosh.
It's the latest thing. Great Falls.
I had to figure a way out of this. Any second now, and Stucky would be knocking on the door with his axe like Nicholson in The Shining.
Gun, which we can't use, and a flashlight. Yes. Oh, that flashlight is going to be like a lightsaber. Lightsaber, because we're going to use the Force.
During your
Okay. All right.
trying walking, it's the latest thing.
Read the subtitles.
In
It's telling us to go Nordic riding. Alright, sounds good.
proven health
Okay, we're gonna use the phone. Not gonna work.
one.
Telling us we need to get our cholesterol levels down. Awesome.
Bright Falls Sheriff Station, how may
I
I...
think him running after us is doing it.
Hello? Hello?
That's not good.
Tor.
Ah! Did you see that? Yeah. I was stuck. He started it and then walked away. Ah, that's not good. Ah, ran! Oh, that was close. Oh. Everything I touch is getting thrown off a cliff. Like, who's going to want to pay? My insurance premiums would be expensive. Like,
The
wow.
bulldozer had gone over the cliff with the office. I hoped Stucky had suffered the same fate, but I wasn't planning on staying to find out.
No, he's ahead of us. Nice little guy. Okay, now this is where it gets very tricky playing as a pacifist. I will give you a clue. You do have an electrical pylon here that you might be able to use, but I'm actually going to take it.
Even though most of the enemies attack you with melee weapons, some of them are able to use ranged weapons as well. I think it's way cooler when somebody's throwing stuff at you instead of shooting. Or maybe I just got tired of that in our previous games.
Okay, so we're going to have 2 taken. Let's go.
There were more of them.
And we're already dying, which is awesome.
The dark forest was the last place I wanted to go, but I had no choice. I had to get to the gas station.
And they can't do anything. Now you notice how they run away when you get to a certain point? We're going to use that later on. Okay, we got another taken to take care of here. I'm just going to let my health build up a little bit because it's actually really low, and if I get stuck on... we're going to try and get through this game without dying. Because there's no point in being a pacifist and dying, is there? That should be enough, I think. Okay, let's go. So basically, one taken, and we got electrical cable here. Can we do that? Oops. Oh, damn it, we keep touching it. Usually this is actually a lot easier. I'm doing it hard for some reason. Oh, I can't touch the line. There we go. Right, finally got it. Alright, so that's the way to get rid of him. Usually it's a lot quicker than that, and now I've got to build my health up. So what I'll do is we'll run up here. There's a page to be found.
I heard them before I saw them, swooping down from the sky and screeching as they came. I spun around just as the cloud was upon me. For an instant, I stared into 100 dead eyes, black pearls glittering in the darkness. I raised the flashlight and the swarm exploded like fireworks. Feathers burned, turned into ash. I couldn't hear my scream above theirs.
We've actually met the birds before, so we only come across them again. Now, there's a secret case over here. I'm going to run back and get it. The 2 taken are still over there, unfortunately. Should be enough. My health should develop back when I'm running. Come on. No. Okay, there's another way to get over there. You can sometimes get it, but if you go that way. Okay, so we're going to try and avoid them as much as possible. Here. Grab the flare gun and come back out here. See? Oh, he's not weak. That's thought I'd weakened him. Again, shift left. Whoops, we've got two of them though. There you go, you're weak now. Alright, so let's continue on, shall we? We'll let them live. So it's an interesting adventure doing this as a pacifist. You have to do things an alternate way. A quick flash of Barbara Jagger again.
What the hell was that? When I saw the river below, something uncoiled itself inside my head. I realized that I'd have to find a way across. I didn't even want to look at the
Wake's newfound fear of water is a result of his plunge into Cauldron Lake. Of course, at this point in the story, he doesn't know what happened to him, he doesn't remember any of it, but on some subconscious level, he knows that he's been violated, and he associates that with the water.
Interesting. I have no fear of water. Having said that, if you jump into the water, you will die. So it's a good fear to have. Okay, another page.
At first, I kept finding the pages as if by accident. The book I couldn't remember was either a terrible and true prophecy or an act of creation that had rewritten the world. I began to hunt the pages feverishly, for they held the answer to the mystery. With it, I could save myself. With it, I could save Alice.
Again, if you know the future, you might be able to change it. Okay, so going back. Now how? There we go. Oh, hello. Stucky, great.
Stucky was still out there, in the dark, stalking me.
Okay, so basically come over here, grab all the ammo and weapons that we're not going to use, grab another page.
I stepped into the gas station's garage. It was dark and quiet. The place was a mess. It looked like someone trashed the place or that there'd been some kind of fight. Light spilled into the room through an open door at the back, and I made my way toward it. Without any warning, I was blinded by a bright light. An old portable TV on the shelf had come alive by itself. Impossibly, I could see myself on the screen, talking like a madman.
Okay, interesting. So we eventually do get to the garage, and we meet ourselves. Awesome. Okay, so if you remember the log, the cabin actually fell off the cliff of the bulldozer that's over there. So we've come all the way down to and made our ways down through the river. We originally were up here somewhere. Okay, so we've come quite a distance, and we're heading over to that gas station over there. Alright, where do we go from here? We come across here. Now, there's two taken to take care of here. Again, run past and jump. Try and get up as quickly as you can.
Okay, it's not Pacifist occupation.
Oh, that was good. Now, these taken do throw things quite quickly at you. Like that. So, you can quickly lose health in no time whatsoever when a few of those hit you. So we're going to come up here to another secret chest. Oh, there they are. See how they walk away? Okay, we're going to be using that in a second because that's our only way of getting past one area. They're
Taken. They're taken.
Taken. Okay, so if you hear the breathing in the background, now remember Tom is a deep sea diver, so he's breathing in oxygen. cylinder as much
Eerie
as
hand-painted
you can.
graffiti was revealed by my flashlight. Someone had hidden a chest of supplies near it.
Evidently he's connected to us because we can hear that breathing. It actually sounds like something you would hear, like a breathing apparatus after a car accident and you're in a coma or something as well. So keep all those things in mind. Okay. Whoops. Did I fall down? Yep, I can fall down. And that's going to fall down the side. And you'll notice there's a cop car, abandoned cop car over there for no reason. Just found that interesting, don't know why. Okay, so basically someone's left for us all this yellow paint. We don't know who yet, but we'll find that out later on. And it has hidden supplies for us to keep going. There's a taken over there. Is that the same one? Oh. What's he doing over there? That's the first time I've ever noticed that. That's incredible. Is that called Stucky? Can't be. Nah, it must be where the Taken's gone to. They're just hiding there waiting for us. They're going to be waiting a long time because we're never going back there. Okay, so we're going to continue on. Now,
The staircase was broken. I had to make my way up some other way.
This is a really, really tricky part to try and get through this without shooting anyone. Okay, so basically I'm going to describe what happens. We've got to get this thing activated.
There was no power. There was bound to be a generator somewhere at the logging site.
Yep, the generator's right down there. Now the problem is 3 Taken protecting that. 3 Taken protecting that, and we've got nothing to kill the Taken with whatsoever. So the only trick to use is that whole walk away, because they don't give you enough time to get that generator activated else. So let's go spawn in the 3 Taken and run away. Now we want to get up this as quickly as possible. They're going to be right on the hills. These guys do throw things too, by the way. See? So, okay. So the 3 of them are... Now you'll notice they're walking away to where they have to spawn in again. If you stand here, this is the only way you can get enough distance between them. Go on, keep going. Oh no, they're coming forward now. Okay, this is not good. For some reason they've gone forward. I don't know why they went forward, but we're going to try it with... Oops. Oh, you kidding me? Maybe I accidentally walked off. Oh, okay, so it's over here. Alright. So now they're walking off into the yonder. Gonna let my health build up. There we go. I know it was somewhere up here. See how they're going a long way away? Okay. So now we need to go get a generator started. Ooh. Crap, that was flagging. Didn't want that. Okay, got that. I've used one flow gun already by accident. Okay, we've got another. Ooh, we've got a shotgun that we're not going to use, but let's face it, in our hands is going to be safer than anywhere else. Okay, so we're going to go again. Where are we?
The cabin on Cauldron Lake? She asked. The sheriff looked at me suspiciously. The early morning light flooded through the office windows. I would probably never have gotten out of the woods alive without her help. But I couldn't tell her the truth of what I'd faced the previous night. She'd think I was lying or crazy. She'd lock me up, and she wouldn't help me find Alice.
Cool. We're gonna find a cop. Okay, so this area is going to be a little bit tricky. We've got to run over. We've got to run towards the taker now, and we've got to activate. See how they're coming towards us? Got to activate it. Now, if you once you're activating this, they can't hurt you, so you're safe while that's happening. That should be enough, I think. And then you got to try and hopefully you can get up this thing again without them throwing anything. Yes, we can. That's good. That's excellent. So let's encourage them to walk away again. Okay, so now we need to cross over the bridge. That can be tricky and you can actually fall down a few times. And if they hit you while you're trying to get it back up the ladder, you'll just fall down the ladder again. Okay, so that's how you get over. Did that with little. And now they will walk away a long way. And that's it. That's how you pass that without killing anyone. And, turn on the radio.
Well, I was just outside for a breath of fresh air, and what a night. I know most of you are probably in your beds by now, but if you're still up and around, take a moment. Step outside for a spell and breathe in deep. The weather is absolutely still. The sky is crystal clear. It's like the forest is quietly breathing along with you. To you listeners, know I'm a night owl, and it's on nights like this I wish I wasn't cooped up in the studio. Makes an old man like me wish I could just roam wild. But here I am, and we'll keep you company all night long if I want.
Hey, Pat, it's Maurice Horton.
Hello, Maurice. What are you up to?
Well, I was just taking Toby on his walk.
Oh, isn't it beautiful out there?
Sure, but Pat, the reason I called is that Toby heard something rustling in the undergrowth and took off after it, and I couldn't find it.
Probably a rabbit.
Sure. Toby loves rabbits.
Well, sure.
Anyway, I figured that, if anyone runs into Toby, they could grab him. My number's on his collar.
And Toby's a friendly dog?
Oh, Toby loves people. Usually he comes back, but we were pretty far from home, and it sounds like he went pretty wild there. Great dog, but he's just too dumb for his own good.
Well, Maurice, it's out there now. Hope Toby comes home soon.
Yeah, thanks, Pat.
You have a good night now.
Okay, when I first heard that, I was like, oh crap, we're going to come across a dog now. Right. Funny how he said, oh, it's a nice clear night. No, it isn't. Okay. So we basically picked up found another secret case where Flagger again was waiting for us. Again, the yellow paint and the breathing heavy. And we have a manuscript page, so let's have a look at that one.
Stucky spat on the garage floor and tried to shake the cobwebs from his head. Ever since the couple never showed to pick up the keys, things had been fuzzy. A feeling caught his attention. Stucky looked up and stared as his brain tried in vain to process the horror before him. He stumbled back, knocking over a can of oil. A black pool spread across the floor while he struggled for a brief moment, then let go as the unrelenting darkness engulfed him.
Interesting. So this is actually the past. So the pages don't always reveal the future. This is how Carl Stucky was taken over by what is known as the darkness. And it's something that Barbara Jagger can seem to do on people. Okay.
The gas station was closer now, its light welcoming in the darkness.
Paul makes the best dogs in the state. Belly Burster is the best with no coat. Monster Dog is second best. The famous dog is...
Giving us...
Most of the gameplay locations we have in the game incorporate the idea of a journey into them. It basically means that we try to show where player is coming from and where he's going to as often as possible. In the beginning of episode 1, this meant that we showed the lighthouse whenever possible, and of course now we use the gas station in similar role.
Okay. Basically, when we drop down here, we need to get the electric generator started as soon as possible. There's actually 4 taken to now take care of. Alright, here we go. Okay, so not too hard, it gives you enough time to be able to do it, even on the nightmare difficulties, which is really good. But the next part is really tricky, okay? Because you got 4 taken to take care of, and you can get disorientated. So keep looking up at the compass as to where you're supposed to go. Now I wouldn't run too much to start off with. Now as soon as you hear one at the back of you, run. And again, run. And keep pressing that shift every now and then. Now we're going to try and coerce them to tick off. Let's work it down a little bit. There we go. Like that. Thank you. Okay. Now we've got that. We're going to keep running up the mountain. And well, there is some reason only 1 shot, but there are 4 taken there, so I'm not sure why that is the case. I can assure you there are definitely 4 taken. Oh, there they are. They didn't trigger for some reason. Alright, there we go. So, well, that was good for me. There must be a trigger point somewhere and I missed it.
Here we can see some of the nasty enemies that we have. We call them flankers because they try to circle around you and stab you in the back. Though they are quite easy to take out.
They try and stab you in the back. Awesome. Okay, so if we come up here, we've got another secret chest. And another flare gun. So I would have had 3 flare guns if I didn't accidentally shoot one by now. But we're going to try not to shoot anything anyway, right? Okay, so here...
Cut salad, no. A man like me needs a hefty meal. That's what it is.
Okay, we've got 3 taken that we need to take care of. That's down here. Now, they are very, very fast and they will run around and stab you in the back and all sorts of things. The best way of doing it is just to run straight into the office block. Forget about them all completely. Here we go. Now these ones are really fast. And they won't be able to follow me in here. So let's activate the... I'll activate the fence there. We're going to watch a little movie. How about that?
Science. It bestows immortality on those who advance it to elevate all of mankind. Newton, Einstein, Sagan, princes among men. But the price for such a legacy is steep indeed. In Night Springs. Tonight's episode, a quantum suicide. If our lives are already written, it would take a courageous man to change the script. Having called a press conference, Dr. Barclay Colvin is about to demonstrate that very courage.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I am Dr. Barclay Colvin, and I'm glad so many of you could join me here at the Moorcock Institute. Tonight, I'm going to give a practical demonstration of the many worlds interpretation. As you can see, this is a loaded 9mm pistol. It shall be part of a thought experiment.
Oh yeah,
And
this
now,
black guy looked up.
a real experiment, known as a quantum suicide.
Did he say suicide? Is that a real gun? He's kidding, right?
Please, stay
Yeah,
calm.
this happens at science
There
school all
is
the time.
no risk. Observe what occurs when I place the weapon against my own forehead.
This is like
Now,
school
you
at
might think this
Detroit.
round is merely a dud. Not so. Observe the flower pot. And yet, I myself
That flower pot didn't
cannot
do
be
anything to
harmed
you.
with this gun. With each pull of the trigger, two new realities branch off. One in which the weapon didn't fire, and one where it did. With my machine here, I have ensured that this reality is always the former. I have bestowed upon myself quantum immortality. Under no circumstances can this gun kill me.
So wait. What you're saying is that every time you pull the trigger, in another reality, you die?
Yes, of course, but that's completely trivial. There's an infinite number of things that could happen at any moment, and they always do happen somewhere. The point is, this one thing did not happen here.
You're insane, Colvin.
Insane? Insane?
Hey, was this thing supposed to be plugged in? I stumbled on it.
You fools! Gaze upon quantum immortality.
Poor Dr. Colvin, felled by his own hubris or the ignorance of the masses. Perhaps he should have left the crate unopened, the decaying atom unobserved. Curiosity often kills the cat. In Night Springs.
So basically you can change the future, that's all it's saying. But other things factors might change the future also. Might change the future that you've already changed. That's where it becomes... Because every time you change the future, a million other possibilities can happen where they change it again. Meaning that it's going to affect your dimensions as well. Strange? I don't know. Very, it starts getting very weird. Okay, so if we come out, the token should be gone by now. Don't know if they're still there or not, but who knows. Okay,
Rose knew she had been gushing, but right now, she didn't care. As far as she was concerned, her brief meeting with Alan Wake was literally the high point of her life. She watched as he got in the car with his wife. She was pretty, confident, at ease with Wake. Not like Rose. They were perfect for each other. She'd have given anything to be called their friend.
Okay. Now if you start to see nothing actually happens, so you might as well keep it. And I'm going to leave it there, guys, because you know what's about to come up? The boss. And to try and get through the boss, Oh, we'll listen to this guy first.
The journey from the crash car onwards has seen a steady escalation of suspense, and now we're wrapping it up with a meeting with possessed Carl Stucky.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there, basically because it's quite crazy what you actually have to do to try and get through this without killing anyone. Okay, well, join me next time. Bye for now.